James Cook was ranked as the 7th best running back recruit in the 2018 college football recruiting class, so where are the 6 running backs ranked higher than him now? Well, to start at number 6 was Brian Snead, coming out of Seffner, Florida, who committed to play for the Ohio State Buckeyes. And he actually got to see playing time in his true freshman season at Ohio State, having 11 carries for 37 yards and a touchdown. He grew impatient, though, transferring from Ohio State to Austin Peay, where in 2020 and 2021 he had 2 solid seasons there. After this, though, he transferred to Arkansas State in 2022, where he had another solid year and then had a bad year in 2023, and overall was just a college football running back bust. And just cracking the top 5 is Jaylen Gil, coming out of Westerville, Ohio, who also committed to play for the Ohio State Buckeyes. And in his time at Ohio State, he never even got to play running back, as he'd be immediately converted to a wide receiver. And at wide receiver for Ohio State, he basically saw no playing time, so in 2020, he transferred to Boston College, where he became a pretty solid receiver and returner for them. He played at Boston College for 3 seasons before transferring to Fresno State in 2023, where he became an amazing returner, but sadly went undrafted and signed with the Los Angeles Chargers in 2024. And sadly, he's never recorded a single statistic in the NFL. And coming in at number 4 is Slade, coming out of Woodbridge, Virginia, who committed to play for the Penn State Nittany Lions. And in his true freshman season with Penn State, he actually had a very solid year, having 45 carries for 257 rushing yards and 6 touchdowns. After this, he had another similar season in 2019 and was growing frustrated, so in 2020, he transferred to play for Old Dominion. And nobody knows exactly what happened, but he was never on the Old Dominion roster and never played college football again. And just cracking the top 3 is Lorenzo Lingard, coming out of Orange City, Florida, who committed to play for the Miami Hurricanes. And in his true freshman season, he had a solid year for Miami, having 17 carries for 136 yards and 2 touchdowns. But after this, he entered the transfer portal and transferred to Florida. And in his 3 seasons with the Florida Gators, he never really saw much playing time as a running back and just wasn't great. So in 2023, he transferred to Akron. And at Akron, he was a solid running back, but was never amazing, going undrafted, and is currently playing with the Jaguars. And at number 2 is Ricky Person Jr., coming out of Wake Forest, North Carolina, who committed to play for the NC State Wolfpack. And he had a very solid true freshman season, playing in 9 games and having 471 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns. After this, he had a down year in 2019 before bursting on the scene in 2020 with 643 rushing yards and 4 touchdowns. And he had another similarly good season in 2021, having over 600 rushing yards and 5 touchdowns, but sadly went undrafted in 2022 and signed with the Ravens. He never recorded a single statistic in the NFL, bouncing around many different teams, and is currently playing for the Birmingham Stallions of the UFL. And the number 1 college football running back recruit was Zamir White, coming out of North Carolina, who committed to play for the Georgia Bulldogs. And he saw no playing time in his true freshman season before having a great year in 2019 with 408 rushing yards and 3 touchdowns. Then in 2020 and 2021, he really stepped up his production with over 750 rushing yards and 11 touchdowns in each of these seasons. And he was a crucial piece in the Bulldogs winning a national championship, and then he would go on to be selected in the 4th round of the 2022 NFL Draft by the Las Vegas Raiders. And in his first 3 seasons in the NFL at the Raiders, he's mostly been a backup running back and has been solid